Is it? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Sign language may work. Ah, okay. So what the hell happened? Let me double check here. What went on? Oh yeah, now it's recognized. I can see that. All right, good. I think it was just not pushed in quite well into the microphone. It should be good now. So now let me catch up with all of you while I was fiddling around with that thing. So so we have David carrying the torch today. The trophy goes to David, who actually came on, tuned in first and liked first. No chance for the usual incumbent, which obviously is no other than Excalibur. And where is Excalibur? I don't see him here. Excalibur is usually number one. So, Marielus, I hope not you can hear me now, yeah? And yeah, that's right. Marielus even beat Excalibur today. I don't know what happened. He fell asleep or something. Hello, Duncan. John is remembering our deal here, which is just telling us where he's tuning in. So he's from Arizona. That's great. Remember, guys, the deal was whenever you want to ask a question, not necessarily now, but it would be good if you say tuning in from where and how old you are, and if you're male or female, which many of you, it's obvious from the name or the picture, but sometimes the screen name is not a name and pictures are not really visible. Batur, say hi. You have probably problems on your voice. Yeah, maybe I've been talking. In fact, right before this one, I had a live talk on Facebook because I wanted to make sure that both sides will get, because not all of you come on YouTube or not all of you go on Facebook. So I try to cover both, as we need as much attention and visibility as we can. So we have now El Hajj. Hello. Everybody was telling me can't hear you, but nobody now that you can hear me don't tell me that you can. I can't see you guys telling me that you can, but I saw one here. So Joanna, hello, no sound, okay. Emmanuel, no audio. Emmanuel just made it easy, not even a hello, just no audio. Measureless, aha, that's the part when everything went through. Then we have, yeah, okay, good here. Nasro, oh, okay, Nasro disappeared. Study with me says Heji Mehran. I guess it's supposed to be hi Mehran. Hello, Emmanuel. And okay, all good here. Joanna, okay, good. Nasro says, hi, my dear. Yes, we can hear you just fine. Okay, good. All right. David says, I was so fast I broke the system. I think so. You broke. They couldn't take the picture of, you know, winning by the nose or anything. It was just too fast. Boom, done, finished. Nasro says, I'm excited to catch you on live stream video. Well, good. I'm glad that we all could finally, so quickly. Now, obviously, we are growing because it used to be like few people on YouTube every time we tuned in, but now looks like it's more solid Wi-Fi connections and so on, and more people are used to it and they can find me quickly. Maybe you have clicked on the bell thingy on your YouTube, so you'll be notified you know, as soon as I get on there, and that's good. Let's see. Aftar says hello. Hello, Aftar. Hello, Reese. See, I pronounced it right this time. Thank you. Good. Batur says, hi, sir, where's your tea? Oh, okay, right. Here's my tea. Here's my tea. Salut to everybody around the world. Meaning to your health. What a good tea that is. Chamomile. And Study With Me says, I'll remind you everything until I'm sure that you remember my age and name. Okay, yes, Anna, 20 and female. Okay, well, of course, Anna is a female name. Anna, 20, female, but you didn't say where you're tuning in from. Haha, I got you there. So the formula is where you're tuning in from, how old you are, man or woman. When you ask a question, that jogs my memory so I can deliver it properly to the person that I'm talking to. So, Nasro says, from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Oh, Nasro is in North America. Okay. I don't know, somehow I had this idea that you're somewhere far away, much further. Okay, and what's going on? No afternoon tea today. Well, yes, there is. I just showed it to Aftar. Here it is. It's to everyone's health. Wow. Love a good cup of tea, especially herbal nowadays. But I miss my regular Assam tea. I haven't had black tea for a long time now. Let's see. Oh, Myrillis wants a wisdom pose. All right. No, that wasn't it. Here it is. So I got lost in it myself. So only momentary. Otherwise, I could go into image. Now, Duncan says, Sir Carmen, female, 27. No, not Duncan. Dunan, 199. Okay, Carmen, female, 27, and Dutch. Okay, I know some German, but Dutch, I'm sure you understand some of it, I guess. But I should learn some Dutch words as well. So anyhow, Guten Tag or Guten Morgen here, Guten Abend there, and wie geht's heute? And good that you're here. So Carmen asks, she says, I asked a question a few videos before and talked about availability. Wanted to tell you that he dumped me last Monday via text message. I feel very upset, sad and angry. I can understand why you're upset. I can understand why you're sad. I can see why you feel angry, but I tell you, none of them is a reflection on you. Usually we get upset for one reason, sad for another reason, and angry should be for another reason. But when the three of them are together, it's perhaps because you think the action of that person is a reflection on you, your worth and value. You're upset because of whatever it happened. You're sad because of whatever it happened, the content. But you're angry because of the form. You know, things have, in communication, we have content and form. You may say something that its content, it's nothing really, or of no use, or not so clear, or not so important, or just average, or maybe even not agreeable, but the way, the form that you present it, it could be so pleasant that it could actually be convincing, or, you know, feels warm in the heart, and the receiver would be open to consider it. And then sometimes you have a content that is really great, important, accurate, and correct. But the form that you present it is in such a negative way that they don't even want to hear it or consider it, even though. So the form and content are two things that must be very clear, and both should do justice to whatever it is that you want to deliver. And in this case, you know, you feel upset, okay, you feel sad, okay, but you feel angry not because of what happened, because of the way it happened, the form that it was delivered by text. Who wouldn't be angry? But you need to turn things around and see it for what it is, rather than having it interpret your worth and value. Because, like, imagine if some food has been brought to you in a restaurant in a very dirty dish or dirty tray. You wouldn't take that onto you. You'd be possibly insulted, but if you look through, nothing happens to you. It just says how unorganized and unhygienic that place where you're ordering your food is. So it's a reflection on them, not on you. So this, the way this person has handled this important issue, it's a reflection on how low class, how cowardly, how inappropriate, how insensitive, how bad that person's way of negotiating life and interacting with people is. It has got nothing to do with you. So the anger part should not be there. You should look at it that you're angry because you think it's a reflection on you. But when you look at it that it's not, then you should let go of the anger. So, okay, there's no anger here. It just tells me how dumb shit that person was. Because if it had any class, if it was up to your par, if it would be suitable to you, the whole thing, the person, I don't think you would require or you would accept someone who is in this kind of a level of doing what he did in that way, if that is what bothers you. Some people don't give a damn. They get a text, say, you know, break up. Well, of course, it's very bad, but they already figured that it's not worth it anyhow, so they pass. So, okay, goodbye. Now, you feel very upset, yeah, because you think that you need someone to give you affirmation, and now that affirmation is reduced to nothing because of this breakup of this relationship, thinking that your value was into that other person. Now that other person is no longer praising that or honoring that or paying attention to that, then your value is also gone with the person. You got to realize that your value is still here. Nothing has changed. The only thing has changed is the image that you have of yourself is now in your mind is changed, which again, you are worried about something that is changed which doesn't even exist, because the image is just image, it's not reality. You created that image of yourself being in a relationship with some guy, and you created a new image of yourself. Now that guy is not there, the relationship is not there, so you think the image that you were used to seeing yourself in your mind, because it's not the same anymore, then something has diminished from you. Nothing has diminished from you. You're the same wonderful girl like ever. Wisdom, education, manners, morals, everything is the same in you. The only thing is you're not in a relationship with someone that you thought you liked to be in a relationship. Now, this is your chance to see you shouldn't have liked to be in a relationship with a person who actually breaks up this way. So this is perhaps your lucky day to recognize what really that person was all about that you couldn't see. Things that was deep inside, which showed itself through this action, through this scenario, through this stage of interaction with him. And you will see that, well, obviously he's not meeting your standards, because that's not acceptable. So perhaps you should be jubilant and say, ha, good that I found this out now. This person doesn't have the class that I thought he had. And obviously you should now be able to disqualify him and say, because he reacted or acted in this way, I don't find him qualified. Therefore, I'm not upset. I'm actually happy that I found this out. Sometimes you find things in different ways, and sometimes it's rather unpleasant. But focus on what you found out about this person rather than what his action was, which was contrary to the image you had of yourself, and you feel insulted because of your ego has come to the picture and saying, you actually dare to drop me like this? Now you use the word dump, which is you shouldn't use. Nobody has the credentials big enough, or nobody has the guts to dump anyone. It's just a matter of conflict and divisions and not appreciating each other when they should or how they should. So the fact that somebody changes their mind, that doesn't take anything away from you. It's no different than if somebody, let's say everybody in the world, many people in the world like a spaghetti. And if somebody says, I don't like spaghetti, or he did like and said, I don't like spaghetti anymore, and nothing happens to the spaghetti. The spaghetti is still spaghetti and delicious, and everybody else still around the world loves it and likes it. But this person doesn't like it, doesn't make a change into the spaghetti's taste and quality. So the same thing with you. If this person doesn't like you, whether he breaks up with you on text or phone or person or whatever, you're still you. But the fact is, people think when somebody breaks up with them, that means they have diminished in some way. No, they haven't. It's no different than when you have some kind of a, I don't know, a video on YouTube or some post on Facebook, and somebody likes it, and then you focus on the likes, and then you got 10,000 likes or 100 likes, and you see one unlike, and you're focusing on that. Oh, something came up, and well, why don't you just look? There's 99, there's 100 more that they like it. Why are you focusing on this one or two or 10? The same thing. There's still people out there that love and admire you and want to get to know you and appreciate who you are. And suddenly you're focusing on this one person who did like you and now it doesn't, or whatever. Who cares? Nothing has diminished from you. You're still the spaghetti that you wear. So on that note, Carmen, just dust off your jacket and move on. It's not worth wearing something that doesn't fit any longer. And this person obviously didn't fit. Throw it out, take it out, throw it in the garbage and go, move forward. I hope that's something for you to think about. Hello, Valerie. Long time no see. Good to see you here. Let me see. I read your... Valerie says, I want to thank you for helping me through my issue. I am the person going through letting go of the alcoholic and toxic person right now. Yes, I remember. Been with him for 6 years now. And Valerie says, I am going through some depression and sad at times. I miss him. Well, you have been used to the order that you created with being in a relationship with this man, and no matter if it was this man or somebody else or anything or an animal or something that you were constantly in contact with and in communication with, you would get used to that person, because that or that interaction, whether it's with your dog or whether it's your horse or whether it's your friend, you have an interaction with a living being, and that becomes part of your order of life and is part of your mechanical process. The mechanical process being like you get up and you have your coffee and then you go and get on a bus, or you drive your car, go to work and stop somewhere before the work and then after the work and interact, how you do your work, and then where you go and who you meet, what group you belong to, and so on and so forth. These are all part of your mechanical process. So now this is part of your mechanical process. This is part of the way you live. This is part of your order. This person has been in there and you've gotten used to this whole thing. And naturally you're going to miss it. It doesn't matter if it's this or that. Any interaction with a living being for a while, as long as it is, of course, nothing negative, derogatory, such as, some abuser or someone who's been, making you uncomfortable and so forth. We're not talking about that. We're talking about these sort of, regular, getting used to interacting with a living being. So it becomes part of your mechanical process. It becomes part of your order. And it's going to be taken a while before other things takes your attention, and then your attention and your focus would be on something else, which then what your focus is on becomes your actuality, becomes your reality. Because most things in life is an illusion. The illusion we focus on is the reality. Now, in this case, it's not an illusion, but what you're focusing on is your reality. And in this case, what you're focusing on will cause you to miss something that you've been used to. Now, in time, you will be focused on other things, which when you help yourself to move on and so on, and that focus will become the first and foremost in your agenda, in your mind, in your focusing choices. And then this will not feel missing as you do so much, because again, your focus creates your reality, and what you focus becomes first and foremost in your mind, and then this wouldn't be so out there for you in front of your eyes. And then you get weatherized and used to new order in life, and then you get used to that new order, and that automatically replaces what was you missing, or what was you bothering you. Because I know this is a mix of emotion, that it's not good for you, it's not a good relationship for you, it's not bringing you that psychological security that you hope for, is not giving you that harmony with the mechanical process that you would like it to be a guide in your life and your daily life, and that routine. But at the same time, you have gotten used to it, and so you miss it. So you're feeling both. It's not good, but you miss it. Well, it's sometimes like a drug. People know it's not good for them, but they're used to it, addicted to it, so they maybe miss it. You need to be able to be powerful enough to look ahead, that what is the good in it for you when you get over this missing part. Like a person who's trying to let go of the drugs and all that. If they focus on the fact that they will be getting their life back, healthy, normal, focused, be able to be productive and mobile and do things that they want to do, if they endure the time that they think they miss the drug because they're addicted to it, then everything will be great, and that time will finish and they will not miss it anymore. But if they constantly focus on that, yeah, I miss it, and not focus on how good it all will be when they get over this hump of missing, that would be then the way, it would become difficult if they don't focus on the benefits of going through this missing part. So same thing for you. Just focus on what good will come out of it, rather than focusing on what would make me feel good right now. Because what feels good is not necessarily good for you in life. There are lots of things that makes people feel good. They do all kinds of things, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever the hell it is that do. Some people do other stuff that is just totally weird or out of anyone's standards, any kind of normal standards. But they get pleasure from it. So when they get pleasure from it, it's not supposed to justify what you do. Many things that makes you feel good, to some people, different things, it doesn't necessarily mean just because it feels good, it's good for them. So you got to be able to distinguish feeling good and good for you. It's not necessarily always both can be in the same sentence. So having said that, I hope that you will focus on what good will come out of it, and you will be able to go through with it, so you will get over it and have focus on productive things in your life, and then you'll be able to see there's a life out there. This, what you're focusing on, is not the entirety of life, because sometimes people think what they are in pain for, what they're focusing on, is all there is in life. But it's because they're focusing on that. If they train their eyes on something else, they say, oh, there's other things in life too. And they can love that, they can get used to that, they can enjoy that, and that's good for them, and so on and so forth. And they advance their life to something healthy and better for them, rather than using the idea that they're used to this, and that being used to something convince them that it's also good for them, or they should stay with it. No. You cannot change your life. If you're dissatisfied with it, you cannot change your life by constantly staying in the same thing that you don't want to be. You want to be better, you want to change it, then you got to move out of what it is that is entrenched you and get engaged you into something that you know is not good for you. So move out of it. You know, move out of it. You can't sit in the same hole and wonder, why am I in this hole? Well, because you're sitting there. And you're worried about, if I get out, I'm not in the hole anymore. So what? Decide that you don't want to be in the hole, and then get out and say, yes, I'm not in the hole and I don't want to be. Be determined. You can't be wishy-washy. Either in or out. Either happy and healthy, or suffering and dealing with things that is not necessarily good for you. Okay, having said that, let's see what Batur has to say here. And guys, remember, before you guys forget, or you end up going to sleep or leaving, depending on where you are, click on like here, click on like here, right here. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, which I think you have. So click the like here, because we need visibility. We need the algorithm to work for us. So we have a long way to go. Make sure any video that you see, click like and share it with the people that you care for. Now, Batur says, my question is about faith. If I believe something that I'm gonna achieve after I did my best, may I still be successful in that case? Some people say that good thoughts cause good results. Okay, let me read that again. My question is about faith. If I believe something that I'm gonna achieve after I did best, if you do your best, okay? If you believe that you can achieve something if you do your best, may I still be successful in that case? Well, at least you have a better chance. Let me ask you this. Which one feels better when you're trying your hardest to achieve something that you want to achieve, your goal, to accomplish something? Does it feel better if you keep saying, I'm not going to make it, I don't think it works, I don't think it works, and you keep doing it? Or saying, yeah, I'm going to do better, I'm going to focus better, I know it's going to work, and I'm going to do my best to make it work? Which one feels better, regardless of what the actual result is? Whether you actually will achieve the goal that you set out to get or not. Which one feels, which mentality makes you do better and try harder and be enjoying what you're doing? The one that says, I'm not sure, I don't know what to do. Does that give you more motivation to do it? Does that help you to do a better job at what you're doing? Does that help you focus more? Does that give you more pleasure and happiness while you're doing it? Or when you say, yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to focus now, okay, because I want to do a good job and I know it's going to work. So great, I did a good job today. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and I'm going to... Being hopeful will help you to focus and bring a better quality of job. And that's the best you can do now. Whatever comes out of it, well, you can't have a guarantee on that, but I can guarantee that it's definitely that will give you a better opportunity and better motivation and better results, whatever the results is, than if you are not happy and hopeful and positive and encouraging yourself and thinking good about what you're doing. Now, provided that it's a good thing to do, not a malice. All right. Madara says, guys, like the video. There we go. Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I just said the same thing. Okay. Batur says, do you believe that, or no, oh, I see. It's a continuation of your question. Sometimes even if I think good things, bad things may come true at the end, like failing the exam. Thank you so much. That has nothing to do with your effort. If you make a good effort, do your best, and still the exam doesn't come together, it doesn't mean because you did your best. If you didn't have, the exam would have been even worse. It just means you got to do even better if the exam didn't turn out to be good, even though you paid full attention or you did the best you can. It just means you got to now change your approach to it and learn it even a little better. Maybe the atmosphere where maybe your focus while you're learning should be even changed, and all that to help you to get a better result. It doesn't mean just because you wanted it so bad and you did your best, but the exam didn't turn out good, that means, oh, doesn't matter how much I want something to be good, it won't happen. No, it just means you didn't bring enough effort. Or it was a subject that you weren't interested. That's why no matter how much you tried, you could only get so much because it wasn't interesting to you. Just means you got to pay more attention to it. That's all. Simply, you cannot simply say just because I did my best and it didn't get result, that means, oh, it doesn't matter if I think good or bad, it makes no difference. No, it does. Of course it does. Can't be like that. Just do your best and don't worry about the result. You do your best, don't worry about the result, and make sure and understand that if you don't do your best, it will be even worse result. So keep doing your best and think good about what you're doing. Encourage yourselves. That will always give you a better result. Even if the result is not as good as you wanted it to be, it would still be a better result because you encourage yourself, you help yourself, you thought good, you were positive, and so on. It would have been worse if you didn't. So El Haj says, I'm 23 and living in Minnesota. I saw this girl on Facebook. She has the same background as me. I said hey to her once. She responded 2 weeks later and said, hey, 5 months went past. I posted a video. Then she called me. Okay. That's it. That's the end of the story. I hope that was in the book or something you wanted to publish because you kept everybody hanging. All right, Emmanuel says, Mehran, what do you think will be the reaction of your ex-wife if she stumbles upon your YouTube channel? Stumbles, she already knows my YouTube channel and she's very... she enjoys it whenever she gets a chance and watches some of the stuff. And what would I think of that? Many people like it, or some people may not. That's okay. But no, my family already knows, and my friends already know. So, okay. So, Carlos says, Carlos from Los Angeles. Love to hear all your advices since I'm going through a breakup. You do help me. Good. I'm glad that it's helpful to you, Carlos. As you know, we have now over 800 videos on YouTube, and pretty much soon there'll be no scenario that anybody can think after their breakup that we haven't covered. We haven't talked about it in the form of lecture, or we haven't talked about it in the live talks. So we always have a segment about it. Now, there's still, right now we have over 141 live talks since we started in 2016, summer of 2016. And only maybe 30 of them I have been able, maybe 20 of them, of the live talks, or 30 of them of the live talks, I've been able to trim them into one question, one answer video. And there are many, many questions and answers in the live talks of 2 hours or 1 hour, which is not necessarily separated from the whole video yet. And when I get time to do all of that, we'll have maybe 2,000 more videos, which would definitely cover everything and everything that anybody could ever be thinking after their breakup, which will be even that much more helpful. But right now they're all available in the form of long videos that you can watch, and they're like maybe 10 or 20 different questions in one long live talk video, or they are already trimmed, many of them in small ones. So go on the channel and search for what you're feeling, what you're hoping to get an answer for. There should be some, those words would be recognized by the system, and there would be some videos coming to you in the form of response. Also, or go to the playlist and look at the playlist, and there will be all kinds of videos in the playlist that you want to focus on. So, Carlos, I'm glad that the channel is helpful. Just please do remember the videos that you like. Please, guys, share it. That's the only way we can be visible. We need to be visible. We have good contents, but we are not necessarily found on the YouTube's algorithm system, whatever it is. And just share it on your social media and let people know about it. They will come to our channel, they'll subscribe, and then we'll grow. Study with me says, I'm from Pakistan, Mehran, and I'm so much in love with this channel. Good, I'm glad you like it. You helped me through my exams, seasons, and now I'm your fan. Okay, good. Sir, I'm always waiting for you to come live. Okay, great. I'm delighted to hear that. I hope that we will have so many more wonderful people who like and enjoy this channel that will help us to grow, and we also then reach more people to help them in their lives and their challenges. Nasro says, my dear, you advised me before to not be with a guy who almost older than me, 27, I'm 20. He is older than me 27 years. I'm 20 years old and he's 47, but I'm deeply in love with him. So what should I do? Please help me out. Dear Nasro, I cannot make that decision for you. I can only give you what I think based on what seems to be some maybe more experience that I have in life than you at this age, and I could possibly see some things that you cannot see, but at the same time it doesn't mean that what I say is always correct. You are the final judge on what is good for your life. But basically at age 20 you should be reasonable that at age 20 you have not accomplished all the things you can accomplish, not even near. You haven't even finished your university, I don't think. You haven't even seen what potentials you have. You haven't been even successful in the things that you want to accomplish in life. Therefore, you haven't created that image and that worth and value that you will in later ages. Now, as long as you haven't gotten to this stage that you will get by accomplishing more things and you become older and wiser and more experienced in life, you feel you need some way to become and feel more valuable. And one of those ways for a young person, in your case, young woman like you, would be if a 47-year-old man who's already accomplished a bunch of things, and to you, in compared to where you are, he seems to be, wow, so valuable, so accomplished, and therefore you may feel that you will also get some of that value by associating with that person. Because you're associating with that person, you may receive a different image of yourself in your own mind, which makes you feel comfortable and confident because you feel you are part of the accomplishments of this person and part of the wisdom and experiences of this 47-year-old compared to you being 20-year-old. And that seems reasonable at the time. That's the effect of it could be. But once you reach your 25, 26, 27, and you see you're no longer that little baby or little young girl who doesn't know much, but now 25, 26, 24, 27, you see, wow, I've now gained lots of wisdom. And that 47-year-old doesn't, now that is going to be 52 or 3, it doesn't seem so with it anymore. I have accomplished certain things myself. So the difference becomes shorter. You're still just at your youth, and he's now slowing down in many things that you want to do or he wants to do. There will be more divisions and conflicts. And you feel that that wasn't the right choice. But then, by then, you may have married the guy, have children, you can't get out of that. And now you're a 27, 30-year-old girl with a 57, close to 60-year-old man with children, and you don't know what the hell to do. And right now, the way you feel, because of some of the reasons that we just talked about, makes you feel good, and so difficult for you to walk away from it because it's pleasurable, and people have a hard time to walk away from pleasure, what makes them feel good. And it's making you feel good. But you can't tell that a year or two from now, you may say, what the shit did I do for that little feeling good? I could have just waited for another year or so and see that I'm no longer interested. I no longer would feel good from what was making me feel good. And then you would have made a different decision. But because you didn't, you end up with someone that you, in a year or two or whatever, you may not feel like it was the right choice. So all I'm saying to you is that if you want to make a drastic change or drastic decision, don't make it at age 20. You may still want to do the same thing, but wait for a few years and see if you still feel the same. Because there's a good chance that you will see the world differently at an older age. You will think of yourself differently. And when you think of yourself differently, more confident and all that, you will naturally then, in comparison, will view others that you hold so high right now differently then, because you have elevated yourself. Look, if there are two plants, two trees, one of them is just this much out of the earth, and the other one is this much out of the earth, so it's taller. To this little one, this tree looks, wow, so accomplished, so big. But once this one is already here, then this other one doesn't seem that much accomplished or more or bigger. And when this one already arrives here and says, wow, this thing that was already accomplished and to me was a big deal, no longer a big deal. And when you hit over it, you say, what a mistake it was that at one time I used to think this thing was so much better than me and impressive. No longer impresses me. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you are looking at something from down up. Wait till you're taller, wait till you're more accomplished, wait till you elevate yourself in life, and then you're no longer looking at this person that way. You will look at this person even, and then you'll see, okay, I'll see if I'm still impressed or not. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, I can't make decisions for you, and I'm not telling you how it is or it isn't. I'm just giving you scenarios because you're asking me. Now, if that person was asking me about what do you think about me dating a 20-year-old? I said, well, listen, she's not into things that you are. At this moment, you guys are infatuated, but eventually she would want to do things that you've already done or you're no longer interested. And then you will see that it's not working, and she will be bored and she will leave you, and you will be stuck on your hand with you and your emotions. So best is think it through. That's all I can say. So it's just too much of an age gap. And the decision you're making is for long term, but that long term hasn't come, so you're making that decision based on a feeling that you have on a Snapchat of your life and his life. At this moment, both of you feel like, oh, you're compatible because this interest and excitement and so on, and you can go outing and have dinner and talk and everything energetic. But if it continues, there's no longer this fuel going to encourage you guys to spend that kind of a time or be that infatuated or interested in spending all that time, and then eventually you start questioning yourself, what was it that I was interested in here? Because now I'm getting older, I don't seem that way, and he's getting older and slower and not interested in the things that I'm interested at this age. Both of you have the right to have the right companion. I just don't know about you or him. It's not about you two. It's about the concept of 27 years, 30 years difference. It's a big difference. You tell me what happened in that 30 years difference is a whole different consciousness that has grown. And you think the two people who are both 20 or both 40 years old have differences in their consciousness because of the way they have been conditioned in their consciousness, let alone if a 20-year-old and a 47-year-old already have 27, 30 years difference in consciousness beside the differences that they would have in their consciousness, even if they were at the same age. So logically, it may last for a while because of that infatuation and the novelty and all the excitement of it. But eventually when that runs out, all that's left is all the differences in the consciousness, and the conflicts and divisions have more chance to show themselves than they would right at the outset. So that's all I'm saying. Otherwise, you make your own decision, Nasro. Okay. Karen, I think Karen or Carmen? Let me see. D is Carmen. Okay, Carmen says, thank you, sir. Good thing I like spaghetti. I'll think of it. It all has to process, but you're right. Also, Dutch sounds a bit like German. Thank you again. Bitte schön. My pleasure. Yes. Good. And Excalibur is saying, hello, Mehran and Marielos, and David, congratulations on being first. It won't last long. All right. The challenge is on between David, Marielos, and Excalibur. So, study with me. Anna says, sir, suggest us some movies or series to watch after breakup. Well, just watch a movie to take your focus away from it. And that's my suggestion. Excalibur says, Mehran, do you believe people of this generation of encouraged promiscuity will make marriage a thing of the past? It's a very good question. Let me get my wisdom pose for a second. That may help me. You know, I tell you a little story before I answer this, guys. Now, listen carefully now. This is a bit cute story. There was a philosopher, Nasruddin, thousands of years ago, a Turkish philosopher who would travel around the world, around, you know, the country or whatever it was then, and would give speeches. So him and his camel driver and the camel, he would sit on the camel and the camel driver would drive the camel, and then they would go to different villages and cities, and he would give you know, exquisite speeches about wisdom and philosophy and so on, and they would go to the next and so on. That's how he would share knowledge. There was no YouTube or Facebook or internet like I'm doing. But however, that's what it was. So Nasruddin was traveling with his camel driver and went to the first city, and they gave a beautiful speech. People gathered around, and then so they left to the next city, and then beautiful speech, and then the next city and beautiful speech, and about 10 or 11 nights, one after the other, different villages, different cities as they went. And one night when they were camping outside of the next city that they were going to speak next day, while they were sitting around the fire, and the camel was there, and the camel driver and the Nasruddin were sitting, and camel driver said, you know, Nasruddin, you know, what you do is not that important. I mean, I can give the same speech just as good as you. Of course he could, because he's been hearing it for the 10, 11, 12 nights in a row, so he'd memorized everything he said. He said, yeah, it's not a big deal, you know, I can do the same speech. Nasruddin think it through and says, well, yeah, okay, no problem. Tomorrow when we go to this next city, nobody knows me, so we can switch places and see how that goes, and you can do your thing. He says, great. So next morning when they get up, before they go, the camel driver now goes, sits on the camel, and Nasruddin pretends he's a camel driver. So he pulls the camel, and they enter the city, and everybody welcomes them. Then you know, the mayor comes in, and then they have this big huge place for them to speak. And now camel driver, posing as Nasruddin, goes on the podium, goes on the stage, and gives a speech just as beautiful as Nasruddin himself, because he's been hearing it for so many nights. He memorized it all. Until it comes to question and answer period. And somebody asks a question, and of course it was a very good question and difficult one as well, and the camel driver thinks it through. Of course he doesn't have the knowledge to answer questions. He could just have memorized what Nasruddin could do, and just see, like a parrot, he repeated it. So he looked around and he said, well, this question is so simple that even my camel driver can answer. So he got Nasruddin to come and answer it for him. So your question now is so simple that I'm looking for my camel driver, because I don't think that's such a simple question. But I will take a stab at it. Now, let me read that question again. So you say, if I believe that people of this generation who encourage promiscuity would make marriage a thing of the past. Well, if the motivation of marriage would be sex, then this business of today, sex being easy and everybody has access to it, and they don't have to get married to have sex, because that was a prerequisite of, you know, marriage was prerequisite of sex. Nobody could have sex before, at least not, you know, so openly, until they would be married. If the reason for marriage being sex, yeah, no longer people get married because they want to have sex. In some countries still, if it's still operating on the same beliefs and traditions as before, yeah, it's still the same. So marriage will continue there, whether it's religious reasons or traditional reasons, it will still continue. But the countries that they have separated themselves from, you know, religious beliefs and today's lifestyle and so on, and it's not no longer connected, or they're not following certain tradition, still people will get married if they actually want to build something together and they want to have that feeling of family in the form that makes them feel comfortable. And the whole idea of marriage, of course, is for the image that they will have in the eyes of the society and the people who actually create the society. So marriage in the old times was because of sex, one thing, but the other thing was the image that they would be able to hang on themselves after marriage, which that image would help them in their status in the society and the way the others would look at them, which would bring about a certain kind of a respect and echelon, which was something that everybody was in pursuit of, because it was important for their being accepted in the society, and acceptance was such an important thing. It would open lots of doors, that there are compliance with the rules of that community, and they are part of the group. They are in the group. They are part of the clan, and they're part of the pack, and that was important to them to be part of, because being part of a group, a syndicate, a community, whatever, was one of the ways that they could bring that psychological security to themselves, the elusive psychological security. That's why even today people join syndicates. Lawyers have their own bar association, doctors have their own college of physicians, and there are syndicates and groups that people join in order to be part of the group, to feel secure, feel security, which that itself causes them not to have that psychological security and takes away that security that they came in to have, because they now have to abide by the rules and the things that that group sets, which if they open their mouth, say anything out of or against what it is being set out as a rule and tradition of that group, they will be outcasted. So again, joining a group in order to gain psychological security is the very reason that they will not get the psychological security, because that itself has its own binds and limitations and threats, which takes away that very psychological security that they came into to get. Now, the marriage was also a step to get that acceptance of the group, the psychological security. No longer with today's world, in most part of the world, that getting married to be accepted doesn't have that power or importance as it once did in most cultures, but still some cultures still view it the same as before. So the answer would be, it would be less, but not going to be demolished, because still people have other reasons to get married. They want to identify with the good old days. They want to identify with the wholesome days. And the wholesome days, people would get married, and there were certain norms. I think it is possible that the society will go toward all these haphazardness and chaotic way of everything goes, until people realize that it's gone too far. And then they start peeling it back and try to bring a certain kind of a balance. Neither that way, as it was so strict, and neither this way, that it was like, who gives a damn about anything, and there is no real positive communication, and there is no order of anything, as the order itself would end up having a disorder. Because the way the things were, it had an order. The way the things are, it has an order. It always, there is an order even when there is a disorder. And then the future, it becomes even more chaotic, that itself would become an order, and eventually people say in that order there's more disorder than there was in this order, so they may peel back and eventually come to some kind of a, I wonder if they will come to some kind of a traditions again, new traditions, and these whole anything goes thing will become obsolete. You never know. People are not stupid. It can go far, far, far. You may decide to walk, and then you may decide to run, and then you may decide to do your jogging on grass. Then you decide I can do jogging on rocks, and you can keep doing it anywhere. Eventually, it gets to the edge of the rock. You say, hell with that. I'm not going to jump here now because I'm going to die. So there will be a place where people would not want to continue that anything goes kind of a business, because it gets to mutilation. It gets to no good come out of it. It gets to become, doesn't help anything any further anymore. It doesn't let things to be as creative as they thought it would be if they go that route. So I think on that note, then they will start recognizing even in freedom, there are limits, and the limit would be as long as that freedom that you choose to call it freedom is not jeopardizing the freedom of the people next to you, because we still have to live together, and we can't simply just do anything goes, whatever it goes. I want to do this, I want to do that. When it gets to be harmful to the others, then eventually that natural boundaries in some way would have to be observed eventually. Otherwise, like anything else, it just becomes a little bit too much without any stability. And we are all about pursuing stability, psychological security. Everything we do is because of that. But eventually we notice that a bunch of stuff is actually makes us more unstable and takes away that psychological security that we're all in pursuit of. So maybe diminished, but not really gonna be disappeared at all. Still, there's a beautiful thing to it. Well, it's conditioning. Well, otherwise we end up being like exactly 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. Anything and anything, Today with this one, tomorrow with that one, today this one. Well, so it's all about pleasure. It's about sex. Everything is about sex. So is sex gonna replace every other needs, aspirations, and goals and accomplishments that one can experience in this life? It's not. Sex is part of life, but it can't be the entirety of life. It is one of the pleasures, and we've discussed about it, how important it could be, but it can't be everything. So on that note, let's go on to the next question. David says, hello, I'm trying to get over someone, but often I see some objects that are associated with her, and the thought of it stuck in my mind. Yes, well, that object brings a certain kind of a memory of her to you. But the fact is, you're now only selecting the good memories of her. Why don't you see the entirety of her every time an object brings her into your mind? Meaning, that object brings to your mind the good points of her, the pleasurable parts of your relationship with her. But if you, along that file that has been pinpointed by that object in your memory, bring about the emotional files that are not pleasant, the things that went on that it wasn't about good character, the problems that you guys had, should also, its file, be brought to the forefront of your memory, along with the good stuff. Then you'll have a complete picture of your ex, and not just the good pleasure ones that makes you miss her. So if you bring the whole picture, the emotional fights, the bad fights, the divisions and conflicts, the arguments, the differences, all of that comes with the good stuff, then you will be more balanced in not missing here more than you should. Lottie says, I like to try not to say mean things. That's good. When people say little mean things to me, I feel hurt, but as long as it's just little mean things, I let it go. Is that maybe making myself so silly, weak fool? Well, it's not a bad policy. However, be aware that some of the people that you keep allowing them to get away with those little mean things will think that you actually can't handle it or don't care, or because of their lack of respect and lack of wisdom and lack of manners and lack of class, they will keep doing it bigger and more, and they become more disrespectful and allow themselves to be more improper. And that then, at that time, you will end up seeing that you have to now deal it in a big way, like, you know, just a real mean reaction for them to put them in their place. So you may have to see, yeah, some people they didn't mean it, and you know, you ignore it. But if you see it's continuing, then you got to make an assertive response. Otherwise, they will somehow, being a human being, and not every human being has enough class and manners and morals to understand what they're doing is disrespectful or out of order. So then, you know, you would have to handle it that way for them to realize that they're being improper. Otherwise, human being, if they're not classy enough or wise enough, they think that, oh, maybe they can get away with more, and then it becomes a more of a challenge. Excalibur says, Mehran, you skipped 3 questions. Did I? Because this thing jumps when I'm talking, so I lose the, let's see. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, because I guess I was speaking about your question, and then these things change. Okay, here's it. David says, at one point where we're convinced that chi or ki exists, me or who? Oh, me. At one point, at one point you were convinced that chi or ki exists. Was it in our Aikido class? Yes, of course. I learned in my Aikido class what you were feeling before. Then you could see the explanation of it and awareness of it and how to train it and how to recognize it and so on. Yes. Excalibur says, yes. This camel driver. Okay. Study with me says, sir, do you believe on soulmate? If you do, how can we recognize our soulmate, or how to recognize the right person for commitment? I have actually a video called Soulmate, or Soulmate is in that video. And I think it would be best if you check it there, because it's been more elaborate discussion about soulmate there than I could do it here, especially that we got other questions. But let me see if I can search that for you right now and give you the link at least. So I've done something for you in response to your question. So we are going to simply go to search engine of my channel, and we put in soulmate, and let's see if we can get anything come out of it. Ooh. Okay, one of them says, can someone be so much in love to actually become lovesick? And the other one says, how to know if someone is your soulmate? Oh, there we go. So let me put this link here for you. It's one link. It's one link. And then we have maybe another one. What if you use both positive and negative energy? Okay. What is your... Okay. Why many keep wanting to get the ex back? Okay, that's another thing. How to tell a new love what bothers you without sounding like negative? Okay, that's another thing. How do I tell a friend that she's in a toxic relationship? Okay. How can one resist becoming an asshole? What a title! How can one resist becoming an asshole when life has been unkind and unfair to them? Okay, I can see that. I can see why I put that in there. Okay, how can one make someone to fall in love with her? Okay. Can too much love make someone go crazy? Okay, looks like that was the only one. I have learned finally to love myself, it says. How can one listen to his intuition clearly? How to know if she is your soulmate? Aha. Okay, I think that is already the whole live talk, but I already have put that link, which is part of this live talk. So, okay, I think that will do it. So, and by the way, just short of the long is, I don't believe there's any soulmate. So that's that can maybe help you because you know, soul is soul. I mean, soul is free. There's no mating with. If you're meaning that you love the same things and you can understand each other and all that, yeah, that's the expression that we use, soulmate. But really, there's no such thing that, oh yeah, she's perfect. That's the girl that knows me, because that girl is going through evolution of changes and more conditionings in her consciousness, and that which forms and shapes her how to be and how to react, how to think, and so on. So are going to constantly be changed and shaped and conditioned in your consciousness as you grow, as you get more experience in life and so on. So even if you guys meet and like each other because of you have so many things in common, but then the way you're growing in life could be different. You can't harness it that it will always be affected by things outside. When it comes towards you from life, you will both be affected same way, and therefore you will continue remaining interested and exactly the same as you were. Well, when you feel so close to each other at the beginning, well, it's lots of things that makes you that way, and also the stage that you are, the stage of the life that you are. But you can evolve differently, so it doesn't mean that once, if you're, you know, really interested and similarities are a lot there and common grounds are there, that means it's always going to stay there and you call that my soulmate. No, you just have lots of things in common, but it could still change, or it could become even better and closer by spending time and understanding each other, compromising, being respectful and loving to each other, understand the purpose of your lives, and your whole purpose of being in the relationship is in the same direction, and you guys share the same purpose for being in a relationship, so on and so forth. That will help you to be even more compatible. But being a soulmate is something, you know, how many people have been soulmates? They thought they're soulmates and then they broke up and they got divorced. Why? Because they develop differently. They change in every stage of their life. They could be affected by events of life differently, and that could manifest itself in them, in their manners and wisdom and way they are, and their consciousness differently. Therefore, the changes will take place at one time or another. So I don't think there is really any soulmates. That's my bits 2 bits about it. And for the rest of it, I guess you can watch that video. And I should watch it myself and see what I said in there. Any different than what I'm saying today or not. Okay. Now, let me go back to where it was, where we were. Don't forget to like the live talk, guys, if you guys are enjoying it. Okay. Reese says, I'm glad you remembered how to pronounce my name. Sir, I don't have to change it now. Yeah, that's right. No, I learned it. Reese, okay. Now, Carmen, I think, says, I don't really know what to do now, but I wanted to say thank you for being here and live talk. You're quite welcome. My pleasure. I think I said it right there. Donan 199 is Carmen. Marielos says, Mehran, how the hell do you tell the difference between a healthy need for love and attention versus a needy, clingy feeling? I think the best way is by being honest with yourself. Are you talking about knowing it about yourself, or knowing it when you see to other people, or knowing it when you see, you know, with your boyfriend or somebody that you are in relationship with? But I think you're meaning it, if you are in a healthy relationship and you want to know the difference between if that is love for you or that is your need to cling and get attention for you. If that's the question, well, you can do that by being honest with yourself. Nobody can fool you other than yourself. I mean, or maybe I should say, you cannot fool yourself. That's what I mean. So by being honest with yourself, you look inside your psyche. You search inside your true feelings. You know that you love the guy or you don't. You know if this, let's say if I see a woman that I think she meets the aesthetic, physical attributes that I prefer, then I interact with her, and let's say, you know, we get into a relationship. I know inside me what it is that I want this relationship for. Do I love her? Or do I love what she does for me? Do I love her? Or do I love what I feel when I'm with her for the purpose of my pleasure? Or is it that I love the relationship with her? And that means then the question would be, do I love a relationship with her, or do I love to have an image that I'm in a relationship with this woman, or with, you know, any woman? Is it the relationship that I love to be in, or is it the relationship with this woman that I love to be with? So you ask yourself, is it the attention that I want to feel important and she makes me feel important? Or do I actually like the way she behaves, talks, thinks, appreciates me, or contributes to my day? Or do I tolerate who she is and how she is so that I would feel good seeing myself having a girlfriend? Any girlfriend, just so that I won't be feeling like, oh, others have a girlfriend and I want to have I don't have a girlfriend, so but I want to feel good that I do have a girlfriend. So it's all about you going inside your own psyche and be honest with yourself that Do I want the attention, or do I really want her? Is it her attention I want, and why? Or I just want an attention and she happens to be there? So these are the questions you can ask and can help you with your question. In other words, are you substituting the relationship or her for something that you don't have, or she is what you want to have? Two different things. Okay, so I guess we caught on now with the number of the questions. We go back. Okay, study with me says, oh, okay, we got that one, and we got Nasros, and we got Carmen, the spaghetti, okay, we got that, and then we have we're almost there. The soulmate, we answered that. Okay, Al-Haj says, sorry to finish my question. We have been talking about marriage. Do you think that's a good way to start a relationship? Okay, now I gotta go. The bad thing about this is that we can't see the whole question, so the questions come in two different pieces, and then by the time I get one piece, the other piece is not there, and then I go to find that. Then so CLHS23 saw this girl on Facebook, and she said 2 weeks ago, she said, hey, and then 5 months later, when past, I posted a video. Then she called me. Okay, so from that we're jumping to this, which says, sorry to finish my question, she called me, we have been talking about marriage. Do you think that's a good way to start a relationship? I wonder why people right after, I mean, I guess it has to do with the culture. Just as soon as they get together, they talk about marriage, and it's like a bloody contract that's supposed to be signed before I get to know you. I mean, how can I talk about marriage when I don't even know you? I just sat down to have tea with you. And simply, it's usually, I may be wrong, but usually it's, these are the girls who actually start this sort of conversation. They ask the guy, so are you looking for marriage? I mean, that's because in their mind, marriage is the most important thing, and they want this to be marriage. But what guarantee do they have if the guy is going to answer them correctly? What kind of question is that? If the guy is trying to, get intimate with her, he can say, oh yes, I'm looking for marriage. And then all through this courting, he has his own plans, and she's under the illusion. So what kind of question is this when the answer cannot be proven? So don't ask that question. Just get to know each other and see if you guys become marriage worthy. Then planting the seed that unless you want to marry me, I don't want to go out with you. Well, the idiot who tells you that I want to marry you without knowing you, well, you shouldn't marry that person. Not to say that I will go out with you if you want to marry. Even if he says yeah, and then later on you guys see that you guys are not compatible. So what happened then? You did go out with someone without getting married. So is that going to tarnish your what? Reputation or your plans? So what kind of question is that? You get to know each other and see if that's worthy to talk about marriage later on. But you set it right off the bat as if the physical appearance is enough to make a decision. How could that be? You get married with each other's consciousness. You don't get married with each other's body. Yeah, you get infatuated and physically turned on for intimate relationship by seeing if you guys are compatible physically, but that's not going to be what binds the relationship. How you are, how your center is, how your consciousness is, how your thoughts are, how your fear and desire and ego is playing a part into this thing to make you who you are. All that interaction, all the orders that you create with each other, all the harmony, all of that is what makes or breaks a relationship. Yet all of you think that it's only seeing each other. Therefore, she looks pretty, and then she thinks, oh, he looks like he's wealthy or he's well-mannered. Well, okay, then let's talk marriage. What the hell is that? And no wonder so many marriages break off, because all it's in mind is to get married, not what you're getting married to. So, having said that, let me move on. I'm going to have some tea first. So, David said, hello. I'm trying to get over someone, but often I see some objects that, oh, okay, we talked about this. So we're ahead of ourselves here. The mean things, we talked about that too. Zahin says, after getting hurt so miserably from the person I trusted the most, I'm finding it very difficult to trust anyone nowadays. I was a cool and calm person. Now have become an angry one. Why always the loyal person gets hurt all the time? Well, Zahin, I know what you're saying, but I want to change your mind as far as why are you angry? You're angry because your ego is hurt. Your ego is dominating your center, meaning your ego is telling you that you should, that the ego is more important than you are, versus you be the master, say, hey, ego, you are part of me. I therefore want you stand down. I don't care about ego. Ego is nothing. Ego is an image. What's that to be angry for? So the person lets you down. It's a reflection on that person. Why would it be a reflection on you? So why do you think one girl could represent every woman that is on this planet? So if she lets you down, then everybody else will let you down? Why? Is she the representation of every girl that is out in this world? Every mentality, every consciousness, every behavior, every wisdom, every level of experience? You can't say that. That's like disrespecting yourself, because if that's the case, then you're like every other man that is out there. Are you? If a girl comes to you and says, look, you know, she had a relationship with that guy, and that guy hurt her and left her, and she now can't trust anybody because you're the same as he was, she's going to tell you. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Are you going to say, well, yeah, you're right, because that guy hurt you, then every other man is like that guy, so you're right not to trust me? You won't say that. You say, hey, what are you talking about? Every man is different. And you're going to tell her, you're different. And this is why you're different. Your background, your education, your interests, your family you were raised in, the things that you have understood and taught yourself, the things that you research, the things that you want in life, and and you will prove to her that you're different. Now, why is it that you don't want to give any chance to any other woman to prove to you that she's different, and you just think just one girl, therefore you're angry at every girl? Why? There's so many different people in this world, man or woman. There's so many assholes, so many wonderful people, and you can't just say because you met 10 assholes and everybody is asshole. Or you can't say because you met 10 scholars and 10 wonderful people that everybody is wonderful. It's a relative world. There's plus and minus. There is sunshine and shade. There is hunger and full tummy. There is rich and poor. There is all kind of people. You cannot judge everybody in the same with the same brush. So that would be unfair to the people and also unfair to you. You're depriving yourself from some good possibilities and opportunities with a a wonderful woman that you can meet and have a share things that you will find in common. So anyhow, not one relationship could represent that relationship, how a relationship is in in all cases. So you can't be like that. Yeah, Excalibur. Yeah, I do deserve a medal for that title, but I had to read the whole thing to figure out. Okay, good. Study with me is okay. Yeah, okay, good, good. Cleo Lee says, good work, really enjoy your perspective. Okay, good. Then don't forget to share the videos that you like in this channel and click on like. We need exposure. We need to reach more people and we need more subscribers. Unless you guys share, we will eventually have to fold this channel because there's not much takers, right? In this big scheme of things, to make things really viable, 13,000, 14,000 subscribers is nothing. And yet you can see that this channel is very active. Content are, as you have said, brilliant and makes life-changing effects on people's lives in positive way, as I have heard it from hundreds and hundreds of you in the comments and in the emails that I receive. And therefore, we need you guys to share the videos on your social media and promote the channel, and so we could have more traffics through my site because of the channel. And for mindthatseekstruth.com is the site that you can have Skype consultations for your personal matters of relationship or things, the challenges that you have in your thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, and we can discuss matters of life. And also the books that I've written, you can acquire them and help the channel to have more finances to do more things and more elaborations and focus. We have now, as I mentioned, over 800 videos and a lot more if we trim all those live talks to smaller question and answer. And almost every scenario is thought through in there and people can get answers. So we need to reach a lot more people, and we cannot do it without you guys sharing the videos in social media and promoting the site. Hopefully that we could end up getting more success in the way of economic viability to help the channel with the stuff that needs to be done here and advertise and so on to get more attention, so people will get to know our work and also see that there is support available. So can you guys still hear me, or what happens? Because I now have a note here says an error occurred, please try again later. So I wonder, what does that mean? So guys, let me know if you can still see me, or should I maybe end the session right now, because, or maybe if there's still a lot more, there's a lot more maybe here. No, a few more questions. Can you let me, if you can still hear me? Okay, David, you can still hear me, but you can't see me. Somehow something went wrong. Guys, there's something went wrong that the picture doesn't work anymore. So if you guys want, I can, you can copy your question with your cursor, just copy it, and I will finish and then reopen so it will work. And then we can put your questions in there. Because right now you can't see me, and then therefore I can't upload this. When I want to upload it, there's no picture. So we can cut it here, and I can immediately resurface, and then we start from Chloe, and there it is. Yeah, Excalibur now sees it that I went black. So I stop it right now, and then I go and come right back. If you guys can hear me, that's the plan. Okay. All right. So here I go. So guys, I'm gonna cut it out and then come right back. So I wonder if you guys are still here. David, you're killing them. Okay. All right. I think Excalibur will be furious now because he said not for long, but then again. All right. So okay, now let me get back to the question that we had. So it's interesting that everything is intact. You guys don't have to even copy your questions. Everything is still here. So we got to so I guess here it is. There it is. Batur says because it's limited, we can write 200 words. Oh, I see. 200 words? Oh, I see. I don't know what that means. That's why the questions are cut into pieces. I understand that, yeah. So the 1GX says hello. It's Josh, 23 USA, Pasadena, I believe. PA stands for Pasadena or Philadelphia. Not sure. Probably Philadelphia. There is no Pasadena as a state, is there? Anyhow, I think maybe it's Philadelphia. Lottie says, thanks for your earlier answer. Most people I like are good at and enjoy little arguments. Then they make up and respect each other more afterwards. I guess I need to find my own way to do this. Yes, correct. Excalibur says, Mehran, why do we have the tendency to generalize this kind of stuff? And many girls hate men after breakup, saying they're all the same, and many men hating a woman after breakup, saying they're all the same. Yes, well, it seems to me that there are too many of these examples that men follow their own selfish needs and women follow their own selfish needs, in search of a better deal in town, so they let go one nice guy to another if it is not providing what they expected to gain from a relationship. Therefore, they find faults with the partner instead of the real reason why the relationship is not working. And perhaps it is working, but their expectations, material expectations from that relationship is not being met, because their purpose of being in a relationship was different to begin with from the purpose of the nice guy that wanted to be in a relationship with them. These are all some of the reasons that why men have this idea that most girls these days are not genuinely interested in a relationship, but they're interested in having a life that is provided for them, and they don't have to work hard in life, and they could get things that they want. And therefore, when it happens too often, then the word gets around and the reputation of the woman today changes. And in the same way, vice versa is correct. When the boys, the men, constantly try to tap this, tap that, and go out with this one, and then check that one out, and then if it's not satisfactory, because men are always interested for another woman, the men who are heterosexual, and they go with this girl, and then they find more sex and then different sex, and their motivation is only physical attraction and interaction and pleasure, rather than wanting to build some. So they follow their program of procreation and what's in program in their genes, and they constantly go with another girl and another girl and another girl. And whether and I don't think it's just one side, both men and women have now have reputations that is not like how it used to be, maybe in the older days, when there were more of a reserved behavior, or more focus on the relationship rather than on what the relationship brings for them in either side. And so now the word gets around too about the boys, and the girls think that all men are the same, and the guys think all the women are the same. So it's, I guess there should be some kind of a, it would help out if there would be some kind of a unwritten code about, in boys, in men, that if a girl approaches them, or if they're interested in a girl and the girl is already in a relationship, the men should say, okay, because she's in a relationship, I don't want to have anything to do with her. In that way, the girls who are looking for other opportunities, while their boyfriend is a nice guy and is doing everything for them and it pays attention to them, they still want to jump and go to somewhere where there is more material things provided. They won't have that chance, because there's a unwritten code now. Let's say that the guys say, well, this girl is already in a relationship and I'm not going to entertain it. And that way the girls also will feel, okay, it's not going to be that easy to just simply while they're in a relationship also, look around. Go break up your relationship, then go look around. That would be okay. And the same thing with guys. When girls would put up this kind of an unwritten code as well, that if a guy is in a relationship with another girl, they won't have anything to do with the guy. So the guy won't think that he can, be in a relationship with his girlfriend and is still kind of without being open about it, and having had the understanding or consent of the girlfriend, to go start looking somewhere else, because that girl says, well, this guy is already with a girl or is married, and I'm not going to have anything to do with him. In that way, both sides would have to be more um, um, clear about what they're doing and be more fair to their partners. And they can go and break up with their girlfriend or divorce their wife, and then they start approaching something else. Otherwise, the girls, other women will not pay attention to them. And the same thing goes for the men. If some girl comes towards them and they like a girl, but the girl is married or in a relationship, the guy should say, forget it, I'm not interested. These unwritten rules will perhaps help the society a little bit, have a little bit more balance and manners in dealing and treating each other. But right now, everybody in the under the umbrella of, oh, me, freedom, I want to do whatever I want to do. They even break up their relationships with their good boyfriend, or the boyfriend breaks up their relationship with their good girlfriend, and or you know, somebody who's married, and they just, then the word goes around. And that's why now the girls think that all guys are the same, and the guys think all girls are the same if they're not happy with the relationship that they have. There's something to think about. Hopefully everybody uses a common sense and good wisdom, and you know, be brave enough to break up the relationship that you are in with, or get your marriage sorted out, and if it's not working, and then you divorce, and then approach, you break up and then approach. You know, it is known that many girls, while they have a boyfriend, they look around and they set up something, then they break up with this girl. That's why many girls, more than the guys, when they break up, suddenly next week they're with somebody else, or next day, or next month. That doesn't mean they just met the person. That means all along they were setting it up while they were still with the boyfriend. And sometimes the other way around is correct. Often, more than sometimes, that the man is already figured out some girl and then breaks up with this girl. But it's happening more among the girls. And that's why the word goes around, and the guys have a hard time to trust the girls these days. And of course, many girls have a hard time to trust the guys. So if you look at it, both this problem exists in both sides. And it would be important to be concerned about these things, at least so the reputation of all women would not be the way it is right now, and the reputation of all men would not be the way it is right now, because there are many good women and good men that are there, and they're suffering because of all these other people's behavior. Anyhow, let's go on and see what else we have in here. That was a good question. Excalibur. Olga says, hi Mehran. Hello Olga. I wonder, what do you think about self-confidence? Sometimes when I'm alone in public places and want to take photo, for example, I'm stoned. Then don't smoke then. I'm stoned, afraid what people would think. It's so stupid. Yes, because you're conditioned to get value from people's affirmation. This affirmation has become the currency of value as we are conditioned through our childhood. We think if somebody smiles at us, somebody looks at us favorably, then we have gained some value. And if somebody frowns at us and somebody doesn't respond to us favorably, then something is diminished from us. But the fact is that the energy has an existence, and there is a negative and positive energy, and we are not just bothered or disturbed by if somebody pushes us or pinches us or hits us. We're also bothered with this energy, which doesn't have a physical touch, but it affects us because the energies are what are being affected and affecting each other among human beings and things, anything in the world, as long as it's living being, plants, animals. That energy is what is being exchanged between them without them even having any interaction physically or close to in close proximity. And that energy, with the smile comes positive energy, feels good to receive it. It's like a good music. And the negative frowning energy, it's not about who that person is. We don't give a shit about that. But what it is that that person, regardless of we give a shit about or not, exudes a certain energy, has come out of it, and that energy is negative, and therefore it affects the other person who receives that energy negatively. It's just not because you care about who that person is or think that that person is more important than you or not. Is the fact that there's certain energy has come in. Even if you don't see that person, it's behind a building and you don't see that person, but the energy of that person could have arrived to you, could have reached you. Somehow you could notice that energy. If that's negative, it still bothers you. So it's really not that you're concerned about what people are thinking. You're concerned about it because you think what people are thinking gives you a certain echelon or not. The energy that people exude with what they are looking or thinking is bothering you or not. That is really what the question is, which you should understand. In order for that, you need to understand how to generate more of energy extending from you. So when there's a negative energy or negative interaction from someone, verbally or pictorial, comes towards you, your flow, stronger flow of energy will override their energy. It's like two rivers getting towards each other. One is a stronger river and the other one is a stream, not so strong. So when they get together, this one rolls over this one and is not affected. But if this one wants to also not be affected, got to become strong, a flow of water. Therefore, when they get together, whichever is, if it's strong enough, it will not be bothered by this stream. But if you're not so strong in your energy and you think that the value that you receive from other people's thinking has anything to do with your value or not, then you may be affected. So there's an energy and there's a way of thinking. You think that their affirmation will give you credit or diminishes credit from you, and in some cases, if there's an energy flow of frowning that makes you upset and insulted or angry because that energy is like somebody hits you with a stick and you want to react to it, that makes you uncomfortable. So if you understand all that and then rise above it, through meditation you can make that energy flow stronger. If there is a negative person passing by, your flow would not give a shit about it, overflow that energy. And if you change your understanding of why should I even give a damn about who is looking, who is not looking, who are they, how do they feel when they want to take a picture of themselves, who died and left them in charge of giving me value by their affirmation of what I'm doing or not. If you understand all that the person who's actually looking at you, what you're doing, is actually another person that is hoping to get affirmation from somebody else, then you wouldn't give a damn about what that person is thinking or not thinking when you're taking a picture of yourself. And you should gladly and happily enjoy and take a picture of yourself and forget about the image, because you have become too concerned and conscious about your image. How is the image that you have of yourself in your mind is being viewed by other people, and are they actually going to give you credit for the image that you have created of yourself? Now, by taking a picture, would you look stupid or not? And that has a lot to do with you thinking what kind of image you have. I feel stupid, so my image is not as I hoped it to be, as I thought it is. Therefore, you don't want to do that, so other people will not think that you're doing something weird. Forget the other people. Who are they? They have their own life and they take their own pictures whenever they want to take. Do whatever you like and however you want to think of it. Just be sure that you're enjoying what you're doing it and it's not harming anybody else while you're enjoying what it is that you like doing it. So hope that would be something for you to think about and understand there's nothing stupid about it and everything that you do is fine. And that's how usually the confident people, without having any, their actions having any negative connotations or negative effects on the society and people around them, they should think that whatever I do is fine because I'm doing it. So that would be a good way for you to think about yourself, to feel comfortable on that note. Okay, now let's see. David said, I deserve a Mehran bobblehead. Okay, I don't have one of those yet. let's get a few more people in the live talks and more people in subscribing to the channel than just 14,000, 13,000, or just instead of just 10 people here. When we see 1,000 people on the live talk, then maybe we'll have a bobblehead and you can have one. Hello, Sandy. Yes, you are a little bit late, but it's okay. We will upload it and it will all be available again. Okay, now let's see. Excalibur says, so let's see. Okay. So, I don't remember what that was and what the point of view is, Excalibur, but I think I expressed it in my 2 bits here just a few minutes ago. Pretty much, maybe. Study with me says, thank you, Mehran, for helping us. Take care. Hope to see you again. Okay, dear. Bye for now. Batur says, okay, that's gone. Loti says, I feel the negative energy. It's sort of alarming. I don't understand it. How to think best to not let it affect me? What is that negative energy mean? Negative energy is, well, haven't you ever experienced that if you're talking with someone, you don't feel good, you don't feel right, you don't want to be around that person? That's not because of what person has dressed up as or how the person stands. It's just the energy that is coming from every human being and every animal that you feel. The energy between the human beings is really what makes someone feel comfortable by being there or not comfortable. Sometimes you are you're not comfortable if you get closer than, let's say, 4 feet to someone, or someone tries to get closer to you than 5 or 4 or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3 feet. You feel uncomfortable, you want to back up. But some other people you feel very comfortable even if they're just 2 feet away from you. That's because of the energy that everybody is extending, while the universal energy passing through everybody and continues its journey to the other end of the universe. When it hits us, when it passes through us, we charge it with certain energy quality. And when it comes out of us and continues to travel, then you feel that energy is no longer a good energy of the universe if that person had a negative energy charge added to it. So that's coming from the intention and the quality of that person. That's why to some people it's very comfortable to sit down and talk with someone, and with some people you can't stand them, you just want to run away, you don't feel comfortable. That's the energy we're talking about, Loti. And of course, with meditation, you can increase that conflux between your energy and the universal energy, and you will have a stronger energy. So you will be able to have a stronger flow of energy out of you, which will kind of stops that uncomfortable feeling that you feel. At the same time, you will know which person you should avoid and not to allow them to be a little bit close because you don't feel comfortable. You know, you can see the children are a very good example to it. They're drawn to some people and they stay away from some people because children are very pure in energy and they're very calm and they can feel the bad energy of people. That's why they don't get so comfortable or so close to someone, because that energy tells them, that's not a trustable person, that's not a good person. And with some other people they feel more friendly, and that depends on how it is. We're not talking about very young kids that are being tricked or something. We're talking about young kids that are within people who don't mean malice, but they have uncomfortable energy. And the older people, they can feel that better. What the intention of this person is comes through with the energy that they're extending. And that's why some girls don't feel comfortable to be closer than a certain distance to a guy, and some guys don't feel comfortable to be closer than a certain distance to a girl. And then two people who don't even know each other, guy or girl, they don't feel comfortable when one of them is coming closer to continue the conversation, because the energy is not good. So these are all things that is part of our living being, and one should be able to use them as a guideline for who they're dealing with and what kind of situation they are in. The energy is something that is very, it's been in use forever. Samurais in the old times, they would want to go inside. If they were invited to, please come help us inside a room, a door, a house, many of them, they would go in. When the door opens, they would not go in, because they would feel there's someone behind the door with a sword, maybe enemy or a assassin. So these are the things that is not visible, but the energy is felt. The intention is felt by the person who is actually directing. You guys have seen, some events, some things about it. Like Star Wars talks about the key, the force, and the negative and the plus force. And so you can feel the disturbance in the force when they talk about is disturbance of the energy that one feels. So if one is sensitive enough, like the samurai as well, like the people in martial arts and so on, you can feel the energy and intention. And if you can train yourself, it will help you in your daily life to see the quality of the people according to the energy that they're extending, rather than the get up that they have, or the mask they have on, and the smile they have on their face. You can still see through that, and the physical changes or presentability will not fool you, because the character of the person and the energy of the person is what really is going to be showing and representing who they are, their intention, and that's through the energy. So I hope, Lottie, that was something for you to ponder. Excalibur, you okay? Good, Olga. Very interesting answer. Never thought of it that way. Good, Olga. Glad. Now that you did enjoy it, then share the videos that you like. Don't forget. Always, guys, remember, we need exposure, and we're not getting enough. So, and like the talk right now, guys, because that helps the algorithm again. David says, fair enough. We'll get there, Mehran. Okay, yeah, hopefully, yes. Ashwin says, good morning, Mehran. Good morning, Ashwin. Mostly I keep missing your live sessions. Great to be able to make it today. Yes, it is now early enough, but where are you, Ashwin? Where are you tuning in? So I will know the time difference. We started 2 hours ago. So, and before that, I had a live talk on Facebook. I think I'm covering all the bases today. I'm doing my part to get all the all the algorithm change and all the subscribers and so on. So Excalibur says, well, Mehran, you must be exhausted. For the next stream, I hope you will read a summary of that red pill philosophy, because it has created a lot of problem in my thinking, and I really need your view on it. Excalibur, don't bother yourself with the red pill philosophy and this philosophy. There are lots of women who are just simply not good human beings, and there are lots of men who are simply not good human beings. In human beings, we are living in a relative world. There are all kinds of good people and all kinds of bad people. So you cannot say just because this article is written or because this sample is talking about women having this kind of intention, then all are like that, or men in the same way. No. There are 7 billion people, half of them are women. How could they all be the same? There are some assholes in every gender. And there are assholes in women, there are assholes in men. So, and you know, even in animals, there's some real good animals, and some of them are really, you know, got to watch out for. So, you know, don't limit it just to one article or one something. You know, every human being is different because every consciousness is different. So there are so many wonderful women out there. Do not let these bad samples change your perception, understanding, and love and respect for women, because it's such a beautiful soul, beautiful presence in this life. Women are, and they're so important. It's just like anything else. They're bad seeds and they're good seeds. Look for the good seeds. So don't let a bunch of people ruin the whole idea of beauty and compatibility and that touch of a woman and that importance of a woman in this whole life experience that we have. And always protect women, appreciate women, love women, take care of them, and be good to them. And if it's not working out, just move on and find another one that suits your taste and standards. Now, Batur says he cannot write, it's deleting. I don't know how that works, Batur. Iskopina says, hello, Mehran, hello. You helped me a lot with my breakup 2 years ago. Thank you. I feel much stronger and have much more understanding about relationships after watching your videos. Greetings from Croatia. Thank you. I'm delighted to hear that, and I'm glad that the videos have been helpful for you, and that you're strong and with more information to deal with whatever comes your way. And Alessandro says, hi Mehran, glad to see you. Is it Alessandro or is it Alexandra? I think it's Alexandra, because it's so, sometimes I make a mistake. One moment, guys, let me get something here that I want. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I think Alexandra loves Japan. I think it's Alexandra. Hi Mehran, glad to see you. Good to see you. Ashwin says tuning in from India. About 3 a.m. Yes, that's what I thought. It's pretty late for you. I started a little earlier, but it's not early enough for you. And sometimes I start early morning so I can hit India and Australia and Hong Kong and so on. But when it gets to afternoon, then I lose that demographic, that geographic area. Excalibur says, fair enough. I love the way you say assholes. Well, I hope that you like the other stuff that we cover in this channel. Very elegant and purely beautiful. Okay. Ashwin says, just got out of a toxic relationship a couple of months back. Though I kept missing your live videos, I've been following up often. It keeps reminding me to rather respond than react to situations. Good. Alexander, yes, that's right. Alexander, thank you, Alexander. Olga says, I remembered a little question I wanted to ask. What's wrong with chocolate? What's wrong with chocolate? I mean, it's so nice to have a cup of tea with some chocolate. Oh, yes, of course. No, I actually, all my life, I loved chocolate. I loved chocolate and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I can assure you that. And from all over the world. And however, it's been a few years. I'm more conscious about making sure I don't introduce sugar into my diet. I don't want to have that sugar. The older we get, the more we understand the hazards of sugar. So we only take it when we need it. So anytime I feel like I want something sweet, I have maybe a date or something. Not date, the eating date, the fruit. Although that is also sweet. So, I try to, I haven't had chocolate for a long time now, which is uncharacteristics, but I understand the value of chocolate and the taste of it, and especially, of course, with tea. Yes, but you know what? I try not to have as much sugar as possible, and watch what I eat and so on, to you know, have a better chance to you know, taking, you know, the health matters in mind. Chocolate tea, horse, and Aston Martin, Mehran's paradise. Yes, that's right. But you should break the single spell, Mehran. Damn it, just roll the windows down with sunglasses and wink at a lady and ask her what she thinks of your horse. Well, if I am riding a horse, I wouldn't pay attention to much more than the obstacles that we want to jump with the horse. And unless there are ladies who are riding other horses, then that would be something definitely to notice. Thank you, Excalibur. I appreciate your kind gestures. Yes, yeah, that's right. Well, guys, I think we caught up finally. We caught up with all the questions, and I thank you very much for hanging in there, even though we lost the picture and you guys came back. So we have 2 bits of it. So I'm going to cut pieces of the question and answer and make it into trims, because this one is a bit maybe in 2 pieces. So love you all. Thank you for giving your time to me and sharing time with me. Don't forget, please do like the videos that you watch, and like this one if you're still here, and please do share the videos that you like on your social media. Help the channel to grow, talk about it, and check out my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and see what's there for you. And if you like, definitely I highly recommend Me, My Psyche and I, the book that is available in print and ebook, and it's very inexpensive because that's what I intended it to be, so everybody could afford it. Pick up one as your reference in your library and talk about it, and let others know that there is support available, and to join us on this channel so we can grow and serve bigger area around the world. Thank you again. I'll talk to you soon. Be good to yourself, to the others, and bye for now.